Morning everyone. In a previous video I showed you how to select maple trees and tap them. Today we're going to go over collecting sap, filtering the sap, and boiling it down to make delicious maple syrup. So without further ado, jump in and let's go for a ride. When I used to collect a lot of sap, I'd use a 35-gallon bulk tank, but I only have a few taps out this year, so I'm just using 5-gallon buckets with lids, that way they don't spill. I've had people ask me why I don't use the old metal buckets with the plastic lids on them anymore, and the answer to that is when you have those metal buckets, the lid on it isn't super tight, and with the warming and thawing and the wind blowing, you end up getting leaves and bugs and all kinds of trash in there. So it just kind of pollutes your filtering process a little bit more than it needs to be. This new way right here is a lot more sanitary. Check out that blue sky today. Making maple syrup the old-fashioned way requires patience and time. You can do it faster if you use a turkey fryer, or you could cook it on your stove, but the way I'm doing it, you don't get sticky humidity all over your ceilings, and you don't really have to even run a stove until you're getting close to the point where it's almost syrup. You don't want to get this to a roll and boil, because then you'll have steam and it'll stick to everything. So what you want is just to have a nice warm fire so it's simmering, and after about 2 days I get 20 gallons of sap boiled down to about a gallon and a half, and then you can finish it on the stove. But be very careful. At 116 degrees it goes quick, so you don't want to ruin your pots. I'm sorry I didn't film it when it went to 116, because it's so critical to get it off the heat before it essentially burns on your pots, and then your pots are ruined. It just turns this black sooty gunk on there that is just impossible to get off, and then your pots are ruined. So be very patient, don't rush it, and keep an eye on it. You can use a candy thermometer like you see here, and once it hits 116 it'll start to foam up, and that's when you have syrup. 118 is actually syrup. If you have a hydrometer, you can put it in a test cup, and then the hydrometer will float, but it's a little difficult to fill a hydrometer at 116, 118 if you don't have a lot of liquid in the bottom, because like I said, once it gets to 118 and it starts to foam up, you only have a minute or two to get it off the heat before it starts crusting onto your metal, and then your pot's just garbage at that point. So just be patient and you'll have some fresh maple syrup. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again next time.